What's up, YouTube? This is ShapeSnatch93. I'm coming at you with a deck profile. I came in 35th place at Pandemonium this past weekend. There was like 360 people there. We didn't start till like noon. It was a crazy day. They gave away 48 invites, so I got my invites and that's It's the first one, so it's kind of exciting. This is pretty much a rendition of Yugioh Lando's build. I feel like it's the most solid. I did make one change that he did not. You'll see it in a minute. Double rabbit. Card was insane all day. It's rabbit, so I mean I guess I can't speak enough about this card. Tour guide. I only opened tour guide rabbit once, and that was against the Madolce guy. So I mean, it happens. Sangan, he actually didn't go off as much as people thought, just because of macro. Silent, you have to run the second tour guide target just because of macro, because you don't run Avarice. Triple Guaiba. Oh, and the other thing about Knight Assailant is he's a surprise, which is awesome. Double Cabazul. Or triple Cabazul, triple Sabersaurus with the vanillas. There was the guy that likes to only run 2 targets for the Rescue Rabbit, but then you gotta remember the one Rescue Rabbit's dead. I'm not a fan of it at all. He is somehow. It seemed like when I was running the build with only the Sabersauruses, I'd always open Tour Guide Rabbit. So, the MVP of the day has to be Spirit Reaver. He won me so many games. He actually won me a game against Frog Monarch because I was able to sit behind it. Actually, it wasn't Frog Monarch. It was more like Lancer Frogs. So they really can't do anything against threats like Spirit Reaper. So, yeah. Triple Lance. I can never say enough about this card. Dude, the best part about it is it's chainable. Your opponent flips Bottomless. You flip Chalice. You want to attack over like a Thunder King with Guaiba, you do that, you get Lagia, you win the game. Double MST. You need it now. The Lances do most of the work. This helps with like the Abyss Squalls and stuff like, or the Abyss Spears and stuff like that to get rid of them real quick. Soul Taker. This is for agents specifically, and I actually played agents. He dropped turn 2 or 3 Christian. I saved the Soul Taker and I won from there. Dark Hole, Monsterborn, Heavy Storm. Not too many people like this card, Book of Moon. It's proactive and reactive. This deck has a problem with being mostly reactive and not proactive. That's why I like the Soul Takers. That's pretty much why you can't really get big beaters off the board. You have to wait for them to attack, and deep prison and stuff are easy to play around. So, macro. Every time I flipped this, I pretty much won, even if it wasn't that good of a matchup. It just fucks with your opponents like Monsterborns and Avarices and stuff. They can't Valor you. The cool play I did has to be I had Guaiba into his Agent of Mystery Earth, I believe. And I go battle phase, he's like, okay, that's fine. Just to make sure he didn't have the Valor. I flip Macrocosmos so he can't Valor because it's in the battle phase. And then I proceeded to attack his thing so he couldn't Honest me and he couldn't Herald of Orange Light me either. And then later I figured out he had it in his hand. So, sucks to suck, but Prison. The card's too good, and especially in this deck, especially when you play grind games. I actually sided at 3rd, and I loved it. Double TT. If you can't make a board, you might as well clear your opponents. It's good against windups. Double Bottomless. This is more, I want to say, proactive. Or it's right in between proactive and reactive because it's harder to play around Bottomless than it is deep prisons and stuff. Double Warning. It's Warning. I played Double Compulse. The card was incredible all day. I just love the fact that it's like you make Zen mains. That hurts me. I flip this, game's over. Stuff like that. This card had to win me 5 games. I think I counted the total at the end of the day, and it won me 5 games. Especially, it was game 2, but against the Medulce guy, I was able to go tour guide Levier, Dulka, set the Starlight Road, and he dark holes me, and I flip Starlight Road, and I win. He scoops immediately. And then we have the Judgment. I ended up probably the best time when I drew this card was when I Judgment BLS for the win. It was a 4,500. No, it was a 4,000 Solemn Judgment, but it got in there. All right, side deck. Double Max C. I did not play windups. I did not side it in any other time. I wouldn't side it in any other time except windups. I could possibly see somebody siding in Merlantians, or against Merlantians, but macro kind of defeats the purpose. Double Snowman. I didn't side this in all day either. I wasn't a fan. Most of my matchups required me to go more aggro, so more towards the Cyber Dragons than the Snowman Eaters. I actually played a lot of meta. I'll go to the tournament report after this. Double Cyber Dragon. I actually sided in that a couple times. It was pretty good. And then the MVP has to be this guy, Thunder King. Most people are like, oh, it doesn't work with macro. But it does stop Machina Fortress. It stops almost the entire Machina Gear, Machina Gadget deck altogether. You just have to be really smart with them. You have to summon it in a point where your opponent can't do much except like Dark Hole or something like that. So, and then this card, I blew a lot of people out with this card. I knocked a Gear armor pretty much for the win. I played Gravekeepers last round. If I win, I get my invite. If I don't, if I lose, I don't get my invite. I knocked his Spy game 2, and he pretty much scooped him up from there. So, the MST, this is counter side stuff, pretty much the Dust Tornadoes and stuff. This is counter sides, for Gozens, shit like that. I didn't run into too many problems with that stuff all day, except the Merlantian guy. I played Billy Break too. Billy Break opened decent, but I opened up utter trash, and like we discussed it after the game, like there was nothing really I could do against the onslaught of the water deck. I proceeded to play another water deck later in the day. He flips Imperial Iron Wall, and I'm like, okay, Chain Space. He flips another one while I have Macro on the board. I was like, alright, well I guess I really can't do anything at that point, because then he goes off and then he pretty much has too much presence for me to beat him. This was for Machina Gadgets, or Yugioh, because the deck gives me so many problems. This is for their Fortress. I don't care if it's proactive or reactive at that point, because this will get in there. So it just banishes their fortresses. And then the other Macrocosmos, because this card's too good not to have at 3 at some point. Extra deck. This is the Levier I borrowed, because I don't have one for some reason. We got double Logia. I made him almost every time. I made Dulco 2 or 3 times, protected by Lance, and it won me games. Utopia, because it's Utopia. Maestroke, because the card's just amazing. Especially with Guaiba, if you make this and then like Monster Reborn Guaiba and poke into stuff, you're making Maestroke plus Logia, which is amazing. Abyss Dweller, I made it against Mermails. I took a dump on him that game. Pepple Operative, I'm really thinking about taking this out. Card's kind of bad in my opinion. I'd much rather have something else in its place. I actually might put Chimera Tech in the extra deck beside the Gaga Cowboy. Like, there's nothing really that I would side except, or want to extra deck except the Chimera Tech. This card's trash. I didn't bring it out. I had no need to. Levier, Zenmaines, Leviathan, Tempo, Stardust for the Starlight Road. I made almost nothing all day except Logia and Dulka. Just because you're able, a lot of your threats are graveyard based. If you ask me, So you're pretty much set to make Logia set the macro and say go and lock the game out. Overall, I went 6-3. It was a great experience. It was awesome. I got my first invite to Nats. I am going to Columbus this weekend. Hopefully I will see you guys there. So, until then, peace out, YouTube.